What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about Dragon Age 3. This is going to be kind of like a Dragon Age 3 update. The last time I did a Dragon Age 3 video was a long time ago. This was before the big announcements about Dragon Age 3. Or not announcements, but I guess hints. And because Mike Laidlaw in Pax East said that they're not announcing anything, like, for sure. It's more like, you know, things that they want to incorporate, like plans for, like, most likely do, like, things that they would like to do. So nothing's official yet, but I want to talk about what they, just briefly, what I think about what they have been talking about, some rumors, and just what I think about Dragon Age 3 in general now, after we've gone through so much with BioWare and EA and what we really could expect from Dragon Age 3, and why I feel like Dragon Age 3 is kind of like in a limbo right now. For me, it feels like something that I really want to see, that I really want to play, but at the same time I'm really scared. For those of you that have followed me for a while, you know that I absolutely adore Dragon Age. And I'm talking about Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age in general, I absolutely love the series. But Dragon Age Origins as a game was awesome. It was a masterpiece in my opinion. It's not a masterpiece as in it was perfect. It wasn't perfect. But a masterpiece just in the way that it interacted with the player. I thought that was so good. No game has ever pulled me in as much as Dragon Age emotionally. None of them. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have seen my reaction camera videos for Mass Effect 3, and you see me crying and all that. No, I wish I had a reaction video for the ending of Dragon Age Origins and throughout Dragon Age Origins, because it was so much more. Like, as much as Mass Effect 3 made me cry, this was different. It was like, oh my god, you know, oh my god, he died, and then I'm done. But Dragon Age Origins, it was so different. It was on a personal level. It was like, I started bawling. I was crying at the end because I felt like I had lost someone, like someone like that I really loved. It was crazy. With the music and all that tied to it, forget it. It was I was waiting for Mass Effect 3 to see if it would top the emotional levels of Dragon Age Origins, and it didn't. It didn't top it. Dragon Age Origins is still up there on the number one game that has tugged at me emotionally in every aspect of the word, not just making me cry. I was looking forward to Dragon Age 2, and as much as I liked Dragon Age 2, it never came close to Dragon Age Origins, to the epicness and to the emotional levels and all that. Dragon Age 2 was fun. It was interesting. You know, it was like oh, that was pretty fun. I had a good time playing it. There was a lot of things that were really annoying about it that I was just like, that I was fed up. But in no time in the game did I ever think, this is a stupid game, I'm never going to play this game, forget it, I'm not going to finish it. No, I never thought that. I finished it and I was like, that was pretty cool. You know, I liked it. I like how it was told and all that. So now with this whole Dragon Age 3 thing, I'm really scared, because if you think about it, if you think about when Mass Effect was made and when Dragon Age was made, Dragon Age Origins, in both these were the firsts of the series. So BioWare went all out. They did everything they could with them. They had these games in development for years. I think Dragon Age was in development for, I can't remember exactly how many years, but I'm pretty sure it was over 3 years that it was in development. You could see why the firsts of these series have done so great, because one of the major reasons is because BioWare had the reins on these games, because they were the first of the series. And then afterwards, once EA found out, once EA saw that these games were doing so good, that they were really, really good, they were like, let's do a sequel, guys. Or even if a sequel was planned, EA was more involved in the sequels. Like, they were more like, oh, hey, hey, guys, like, what's up? You know, like the person that nobody wants there, but they're there. And they're just like, you know, that awkward feeling when everybody's coming up with an idea and then that person comes in and nobody likes that person, or they know that they're gonna freaking start manipulating everybody. That's what EA's like. EA is the what do they call it? The pink elephant or the big elephant, the ugly elephant in the room. And that's the problem, because as much as I mean, I want to say, BioWare, dude, grow some balls and tell them to screw off, you know? But could they? I mean, they're owned by EA. They pretty much are EA. So I don't know how much they could really rebel against them, because I could see BioWare still running the show without EA, or joining another company or something. But who knows? I mean, I don't know how these things work. Who knows? Maybe they can't. I don't know. I would love to see BioWare just, you know, tell EA off and not be part of EA, because they are some of the greatest developers out there for video games. They have some of the best writers. They make some of the best RPGs. At least the RPGs that I absolutely love, the ones that are focused on character development and storyline. So yeah, I don't know about that whole business end of the issue. I don't know what BioWare could do or could not do. Maybe due to contracts or something like that they have signed or anything like that. So I don't know. But the point is that as much as BioWare says we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this and that, I don't know what to expect anymore, because that's kind of what they were saying for Mass Effect 3. And now that EA has their paws into the game, even Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2, you could feel that the game takes a different turn. You could feel that it's different from the previous games. And the thing that changes is that they want EA more than BioWare, and I'll tell you why. Because EA wants to appeal to a larger audience. So that's why it feels like they're dumbing down the games. And not to say that people are dumb, you know, to play, that people have to be dumb to play these games. But I mean that they're dumbing them down from what they were in the first game. Like Mass Effect 1 was way more complicated. But a lot of people prefer that, how Mass Effect 1 was. And I'm one of those people. I absolutely loved the way that Mass Effect 1 was. It was complicated and it was like tedious at times, but it was so much better because it allowed you more freedom to take control over situations and battles and all that. Like you controlled them. Like what you wore and what your squad mates wore, and preparing them for battle and stuff like that. It felt more real. And then in Mass Effect 2, they dumbed it down. Like what? Like a lot. So, to the point where you were like, whoa, okay, all right. And it just felt more action-based, more about action than about actual RPG. Now, it had a lot of RPG elements, but it was more of like, when you say action RPG, it was more of an action than it was an RPG. Like more of a shooter style. And they were trying to appeal to a different audience, but also the audience that was tied to Mass Effect, but also a different audience to see if they could tack on more bugs. And then Mass Effect 3 came out, and that just had EA's paws all over it, everywhere. They did try to go back to Mass Effect 1 style and incorporate a lot of Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 things, but it still had the whole, like, story mode and what was the other one's action mode or who knows what to appeal to a larger audience. And they were just trying, like, to suck the game dry from all the money that they could. The ending was rushed, and now they need a DLC. Now it's free. Of course, they wouldn't. They didn't. I don't think they thought that it was going to do so bad. They were like, "Oh, don't worry, Don't worry, they'll pay for it. They'll pay for it. For a Mass Effect 3 ending, they'll pay for it. But the whole uproar, they were like, oh my god. So they can't charge for it. They would go down the drain if they charged for it. But the same thing happened to Dragon Age. And the reason I said that the ones that want to appeal to a larger audience is EA, because if BioWare wanted that, after Mass Effect 1, they would have made Dragon Age Origins, because Dragon Age Origins came after Mass Effect 1, right? After Mass Effect 1, they would have made Dragon Age Origins to appeal to a different audience, or to a wider audience. But they didn't. Dragon Age Origins was way more complicated than even Mass Effect 1. It was more of an RPG. It was gearing towards a specific audience. So if they wanted to appeal to larger audiences, they wouldn't have made Dragon Age Origins like that. So now Dragon Age 2 came out. And again, EA walks into the room and they're like, hi guys. And again, you could tell that the game was rushed, and you could tell that it was trying to appeal to a wider audience. With the combat system looked nice. It was cool to see them, to see your character busting out these cool moves. But at the same time as us saying, oh, that's pretty cool, it's appealing to another audience. To an audience that's more like, that isn't so much used to RPG style of combat, which was more like Origins, although Origins wasn't a classic RPG, but it was more geared towards that way. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. So good. You guys should go make yourself a cup of coffee. Delicious. And it's cold outside, so it's perfect. That's the whole issue that I have with Dragon Age 3, is how much more EA is going to be breathing on BioWare's backs. So when Mike Laidlaw says that we're not going to recycle environments anymore, it's like, cool, awesome. Okay, they're not going to recycle environments. The character's still going to talk, like in Dragon Age 2. And they're still going to have the character wheel. They're not going to go back to the way that Origins was, which, in my opinion, Dragon Age almost works better with the non-talking character and more options. Because Dragon Age is a little more, or actually, at least the story is supposed to be a little more deep. The wheel kind of limits the conversation, and it limits the development, in my opinion. As much as it works, like, I'm like, whatever, dude, that's cool. In Mass Effect, I never questioned it. But in Dragon Age, it just felt tacked on. As much as I hate that word, I hear it thrown everywhere. It's overused nowadays, but it did feel tacked on, the wheel. So it doesn't, I don't know, maybe just because you're used to Dragon Age Origins, for those of us that have come from Dragon Age Origins to play Dragon Age 2, it felt tacked on. It felt like it didn't fit there. It felt like weird. You felt kind of constrained to the way that you were in Origins. Okay, the wheel's coming back and your character's going to talk. It's going to be a new character. No Warden and no Hawk. Maybe they'll be in there, but that's what people are saying. Oh, what if you have to, like, fight against Hawk or something like that? And I don't think they're going to do that, and I'll tell you why. They most likely will mention Hawk and the Warden. Now, whether you'll see them, that's kind of pushing it, because the Warden and Hawk, and more so the Warden, are very personal. They're your characters. You created them. Every Warden and every Hawk is different. And like I said, more so the Warden. If you have your main character talking, what are they going to do with the Warden if they bring in the Warden? Like, you meet the Warden or something like that. What voice are they going to put on the Warden? The Warden and Hawk are very, like I said, they're very personal. And BioWare is always talking about, they say this with Mass Effect, they're always talking about how Shepard is unique to everybody. And how they never put Shepard into outside media, like books and stuff like that. If they do, it's only mentioned. He's never in the book, or he's never in the comic, something like that. And they do this because they say, no, Shepard is too personal for us to be able to interpret him or to even show him off in a way that will make him that will do him justice to everybody out there. Because if they do something, they put Shepard, or in this case, the Warden or Hawk, in the game, in Dragon Age 3, and you're not controlling them, you're just seeing them, people will tend to say that my Hawk wouldn't do that, or my Warden wouldn't do that, or my Warden doesn't sound like that. It would be a lot of criticism. So it's a huge risk for BioWare to do that, for them to incorporate the Warden and or Hawk in Dragon Age 3 in a way where you would interact with them. I don't know. It would be interesting for me, but at the same time, it's very risky for BioWare to do that. So I don't know if they'll do it. Mentioned, almost 100%, yeah. They will mention the Hawk and the Warden. But I don't know if they'll show up. I doubt it. I doubt they'll show up. If they do, they better do it in a really, really careful way.